Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers of all ages, I would love to take the time to welcome you all back to Just My Thoughts. I am your host, Erick Daniel Coughlin, and today's main objective on the show is to play catch up. We're going to play catch up around the last couple of weeks. It's been a while since we dropped an episode. I've been a little bit busy, so for all you guys who are loyal fans, I asked you guys to just forgive me for being absent, and we're going to play catch up. So week 5 was a short week. It was a 14 game week. It was the first bye week on schedule for the league in general. So in that week, week 5, I had went 9-5, which is temporarily my best record. My best record would be 10-6, right? That was what I did in week 4. Week 4, I went 10-6. Week 5, I went 9-5. So 9-5 and 10-6 are ideally the same exact numbers. Now going into week 6, I didn't get with you guys and give you guys my picks. But we're still in week 6. It's Monday. We have Monday Night Football tonight. We have the Cowboys versus the Chargers. And I am currently sitting at 9-6. So I'm either going to go 9-7 this week or I'm going to go 10-6 again for 3 weeks consecutive. So now I'm starting to catch fire. Now things are starting to become more regulated. I'm starting to hit the numbers that I want to hit. Now, again, in week 1, I went 9-7. Week 2, I went 8-8. Week 3, I went 7-9. 4-5, I went 10-6, 9-5, and now we're in week 6, and I'm already at 9 wins. So hopefully we'll get that 10th win tonight. Go Chargers! But today's main objective is we're going to play catch up in Chicago sports world. That's what we're going to do. I know that may not be popular for everyone who's watching this show because I may have fans for all over the place. I don't really know. However, as I always state, I am a Chicago guy. Just check me out back there. You got my Hawks, you got my Bears, you got my Bulls. And so that's exactly what the agenda is today. So in case you guys don't know, we're going to play a little catch up in Chicago sports world. So what's going on with the Blackhawks? The Blackhawks are underneath a complete rebuild. And we are also looking, I think we play tonight. I should have looked that up better. I should be more aware of my schedule than I am. However, so we are sitting at 1-3. We've already had four season games. All in all, playing very, very competitively. We are losing games, but usually by a goal, which is great. We haven't really been whipped. We've been whipped once. I'm not going to lie to you guys and say we haven't been whipped. We lost 3-1 the other night when we played Boston Bruins. But Boston Bruins are actually working on competing for not only a playoff spot, but they want to be competing for the Stanley Cup this year. They have completely spent a lot of money, maybe more money than anybody in the NHL to claim a title. That's what they're competing for, and they showed it. Like I said, they got us, man, 3-1. That's a good beatdown in the world of hockey. That sucks, man. It sucks to do that. However, back to the Blackhawks. This is what we're doing. We are underneath a complete rebuild, a lot like the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears is in year 2 of their rebuild. The Chicago Blackhawks are in year 1 of their rebuild. So yet last year we kind of started moving some pieces around. We lost Patrick Kane. We lost Jonathan Toews. A few years ago, I'm going to say, you can quote me on this, but I want to say 3 years ago, we let go of Corey Crawford. We got a new goalie for like the last 2 or 3 seasons, Peter Mrazek, who is phenomenal, by the way. I have to say I like Mrazek a lot. I'm not going to say he's the greatest of all time, because Corey Crawford was on our team for 13 years. And he held that goal down. Like, let me tell you something. When you lose a goalie and you have to replace a guy like Corey Crawford, it can be very hard to do. Goalies are not a dime a dozen. They're a lot like a field goal kicker in football. They are rare and they are hard. When you got a good one, you keep them forever. They're hard to find. But Peter Mrazek, excuse me, I don't know, that may have came off pretty loud, but Peter Mrazek, I think, does a wonderful job. So back to the rebuild. So we have currently right now 5 rookies on our team. We have Vlasic, who is number 72. He's our left side defender. On our second string, actually here lately, Vlasic has started the first 2 season games, but throughout preseason he did not start. He came with the second lineup. Now outside of Peter Mrazek, we also have Korninski. Korninski is number 55. He's a rookie. Of course, Connor Bedard. That's the big hit. That's the new generational talent, the whole world is talking about, the whole world's excited about. The Chicago Blackhawks are excited about it. Chicago Blackhawks fans are excited about it. Number 98, in case you wanted to know who Bedard is, and you might catch a highlight. Number 98, that's our man, Connor Bedard. But outside of that, Lucas Raquel he's a different kind of player. So he's not a rookie. He's a second-year player. We drafted him last year. Very phenomenal player. So I give you Kaninsky, I give you Bedard, I gave you Vlasic. There's a couple of more guys that I'm going name blank on that are rookies for us this year. But all in all, so we are underneath a very complete regiment. For years and years, who we have been has been Patrick Kane, and we've been Jonathan Tays, and we've been Corey Crawford, and we've been Duncan Keith, and we've been who is the other guy? Well, I tell you, Connor Murphy's been on the team for quite a while. Murphy's still on the team. I think you could quote me on this if you want. I should know this better than what I do, but I think Connor Murphy's like in his 6th year in Chicago. He's kind of been around, and we picked up a couple of good names too. So we have Taylor Hall. We got him from Boston. We got Tyler Radish. I think Tyler Radish is his name. Definitely Radish is his last name, but I think it's Tyler Radish. I think Tyler's his first name. He also come from the Boston Bruins. We also had Tyler Johnson. I think this is Johnson's 3rd year with us, coming off of a title with Tampa Bay. We got him from over in Tampa Bay. So even if the guys aren't rookies, they're all still learning how to play with these rookies, and they're all still learning how to play in Chicago, which brings a different kind of attitude. Just because you play hockey for 15 years doesn't mean that you know how to play hockey in Chicago. Chicago takes their hockey very seriously. The Blackhawks is arguably the most important franchise of our city. More important than the Bulls, more important than the Bears, more important than the White Sox and or the Cubs. We love hockey in that city, and we are used to being in the playoffs, and we are used to winning Stanley Cups. And it's a regular theme for us to be successful, without the exception of the last, I'd say this is going to sound ugly, but we have not looked good since 2018. So it's been about 5 years since we really played dominant hockey and looked like a hockey team and looked like a team that could go into playoffs. But we do look like that now, even considering that we have 5 rookies, and considering that we've got 4 or 5 guys that play on our team right now, or in our lineups right now, that's only been around for about 2 or 3 years for the Blackhawks. Peter Mrazek, Tyler Johnson. Here's another one who I think is probably arguably our best player, Seth Jones. Seth Jones hasn't been with us very long. I think Seth is in his 4th year as a Hawk, maybe his 3rd year as a Hawk. And Donato, who I think might be arguably our most athletic skater. Look, he's one of our forwards, right? So he's our right side forward. But this guy plays defense offensively, which is crazy. He brings so much energy. He brings so much power to the team. So he's going to clean people's clocks when we have possession of the puck and we're trying to score. This guy does not take no for an answer. He's knocking guys around. As a matter of fact, within the first 4 games, he probably leads the Blackhawks in hits, and he's not even a defender. He's an offensive wing. So very great team, very talented team. Go Hawks. The Hawks got a very, very legitimate shot at not just winning our division, even though we got 5 rookies. We're looking at winning our division. We're also looking at going to the playoffs, and secretly we're competing to go to compete for the fucking title. We want the Stanley Cup in Chicago because it's been a while since we tasted gold for any sport. We haven't won the Stanley Cup in a while. The Cubs did their thing in 2019. I want to say 18-19, the Cubs kind of showed off and they did good. Went to the series. I don't think they won the pennant, but I think they competed for the pennant. But I'm not a Cubs fan. I'm a Sox fan, so that meant nothing to me. The Bulls haven't competed for gold in a very, very long time. And everybody knows that. Even people that are not Bulls fans know that we haven't competed for gold in an extremely long time. And I'm not talking since like the Jordan era days, because in case you guys don't remember, before Derrick Rose blew his knee, we were actually competing, pretty regularly. We were competing in the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Heat. So when the Heat were doing their thing, Chicago was also doing theirs. We were looking really good. But then again, I'm talking about 2012, 2013. I'm talking about 2010. So again, it's been a long time since Chicago has tasted gold in any sport. But that being said, we're taking the right steps for all you Blackhawks fans out there and all you guys out there that don't really watch hockey and you might want to try something new. If you're tired of the regiment in the NFL, all right, and you're sick of baseball, right? Because everyone gets sick of baseball unless your team is competing for the pennant. You don't really care about baseball. If you're like me, if you're like pretty much everybody in the world, and you want to adapt into a new environment, I challenge you, and I also not just challenge you, I encourage you to start watching hockey. You don't have to be a Blackhawks fan. First of all, I prefer you guys to be Blackhawks fans. If you want to learn the sport, if you want to find a franchise worth bragging about, you cannot go wrong with the Chicago Blackhawks. That being said, you don't have to be just wherever you're from. If you live in Las Vegas and you're tired of your Raiders getting your asses kicked, I advise you guys to start watching the Golden Knights because look, the Knights are tight. In fact, they won they won the Stanley Cup last year. The Golden Knights is what they're called. Actually, they are a very good, talented team. They're trying to repeat. They didn't really let go of nobody. The Knights are a very, very competitive team. So if you're out there in Vegas and you're sick of the Raiders, just watch the Golden Knights. Just watch hockey. If you guys are watching my show, I'm trying to applaud you guys and encourage you guys to watch a real man's game. The NFL is not a real man's game anymore, and it hasn't been for a very long time. First of all, you can get 60 yards on a fucking pass interference penalty. Are you kidding me? Makes me sick. Second of all, there's a tackle box. If you hit somebody outside of that tackle box, that's a penalty. Again, makes me sick. If you want to watch a man's game, watch hockey. That's a man's game. Now, again, like I said, so the Blackhawks are in a rebuild, but we're rebuilding successfully. We have a very great team. I like Taylor Hall. I like Radish. I like Tyler Johnson. Sorry, I said Taylor, but it's Tyler. Tyler's his name. And I don't like him, like extremely, extremely like him. My favorite player is not even Connor Bedard, even though like he's the next generational talent. I'm telling you right now, Seth Jones is my favorite player on my team. And Donato is my second favorite player. I've already watched all 4 of our season games, and there's nobody more impressive and nobody gives more energy than number 8. So if you want to know who Donato is, if you guys are Blackhawks fans and you're just catching on to hockey and you're wanting to learn something, watch number 8. That is what we are looking for. Again, watch Connor Bedard. Even though I'm saying he's not my favorite player, he is a rookie. This is the first time he's ever got to play in a professional league, and he's doing great. He's second in place. He's second place in assists on our team as a rookie. And the goals are going to come. The way he skates, he's lightning fast. He shoots at every fucking thing. As a matter of fact, in our opening night against the Pittsburgh Penguins, he shot like 8 times. 5 out of the 8 shots ricocheted off the goal. I'm talking about cling, cling, cling. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear somebody taking a shot and hitting the metal because that means that he's damn sure pinpoint fucking accurate. You don't want to see somebody take a shot and it go over the net. You don't want to see somebody take a shot and it go wide right and hit the fucking glass. You want to hear ding, ding, ding. If you're shooting at the puck and it don't go in, the next best thing than going in is ricocheting off the damn goal. That's what you want. That's what Connor Bedard's doing. The man is amazing. I'm not going to sell him short, and I'm not going to sell my team short. Mark my words. We are competing to make the playoffs for the first time in the last 5 years, and secretly, we're not even being too secretive about it. We are competing for a Stanley Cup, even though we've only won 1 game. I understand that. I've already told you guys that, but we are not getting beat. We're losing, but we're not getting whipped, and that's what counts. And it's early. You want to know something that's so spectacular about hockey? It's the most physical sport you can play. And there's 82 games. So it's more physical than NFL football, hands down. I don't care. I'm not going to argue with you. I watch the NFL, and I watch the NHL, and the NHL is 10 times more physical, and they play 3 times the amount of 4 times the amount of games. You know how many games are in the NFL? 17. You know how many games are in the NHL? 82. You tell me what's up. Go hockey. All around the board. Not just Hawks. All around the board. A great organization. A great man's game. Hockey's a man's game. That's why I love to watch it. That being said, so, we're in a rebuild. Year 1 of rebuild. So just imagine that. Just say everything that I'm saying is right? So just say we're over here in March and April. We're getting ready for hockey playoffs and get ready for the Stanley Cup, finals. And the Blackhawks are continuously being talked about in the first year of the rebuild. That would be amazing. And I believe within all my heart, not just as a fan, but as a hockey fan and as understanding what hockey teams go through, I'm telling you, there's nobody more exciting to watch than the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, that being said, let's go to reverse now. We're going to be stepping back into the Chicago Bears world. So this is what's going on. If you guys excuse me, I got to light my cigarette one more time. I do that, right? So, and I do this to you guys all the time. So I get hot, I get heavy, and I get to talking, and then like my cigarette goes out, and I got to relight my cigarette. So that's where we're at right now. Just bear with me. So this is what's going on in the Chicago Bears world. So I've been begging for the defense to stand up and do something, right? That happened on Sunday. So that was yesterday. What happened to us against Minnesota arguably could be the best defensive game we played all year long. We finally looked like we were getting pressure. We finally looked like we were getting sacks. We finally looked like we were going to intercept the ball here and there. And we were healthy. Eddie Jackson got to play. Jalen Johnson got to play. Colin Gordon got to play. We are back to square one. Defensively looked great. Offensively, we did not look great, and we have not looked great pretty much all year. What's been the thumb in our not the thumb, excuse me, the nail in our foot? The thumbtack. That's what I was trying to say, by the way. I have to excuse myself. The thumbtack in our side. This is what's been killing us all year long. So our offensive line has not been healthy. We've been playing guards underneath our center. I'm talking about Cody White here. Cody White here has been playing center all year long for us. He's not supposed to be our fucking center. He's supposed to be our right side guard or our left side backup tackle. He's never supposed to be under center, but he's been under center all year long. So that's been problem number one for us. Problem number two, again, like I said, defensively, we've been beat up. We just got our defense back healthy. So that's good moving forward. Now, we still have injuries where Khalil Herbert's out. Roschon Johnson is out, which is ridiculous, right? Because Roschon Johnson is on concussion protocol. But because he's a rookie and because he's looking to be the running back of the future, in case you guys don't understand this, understand what I'm telling you. Roschon Johnson, number 23 for the Chicago Bears, is the running back of the future. We are going to franchise this guy. He's going to be the next Matt Forte. He's going to be the next Thomas Jones. He's going to be the next Walter Payton. He's not going nowhere for a very, very, very long time. That's why he's not getting to play. It's not that he broke his leg. It's not that he's sick or got the flu. It's because, the organization of the Chicago Bears does not want to lose their future. Again, we are in a rebuild. This is year 2 of our rebuild, and it almost could arguably said it's year 1. It's like we scratched everything that we were doing last year. Last year was supposed to be year 1 of a rebuild, but then we got rid of over half the team. We brought in, during the offseason, we brought in 11 players. We drafted 10 players. We brought in 21 new players this season that we did not have last season. So even though we're in year 2, it's almost just like being in year 1. So you have to bear down and bear witness to what we're doing and what we're building. So for all you fake fans out there in social media that want to trash your team, quit calling yourself a Bears fan, because I'm sick of that, first of all. Watch a Bears game, from first quarter kickoff all the way till, if we're getting our asses kicked, you can turn it off 2 minutes left. You already know we're not going to win. No big deal. But I tell you what you don't need to do. You don't need to be living in California and watching ESPN and seeing the game highlights and then getting on social media and bashing us saying, oh, our offensive line sucks. Well, how do you know if you don't watch the game? Oh, we ain't got no running backs. Well, how do you know that if you don't watch the game? Oh, Justin Fields is overrated. Well, how do you know that if you're not watching the game? Now, I said this once and I'll say this again. Anything that we do this year is a surplus of last year. Last year, ladies and gentlemen, we have only won 3 games. So if all we do is win 5 games, we are better this year than we were last year. We have 21 new players. That being said, we spent $170 million during the offseason, so 5 games is not acceptable, right? Playoffs or bust. That's what we've been saying. We want the NFC title. That's what we've been saying. We've been saying championship or bust. Now, that doesn't mean Super Bowl. That means within the division title. Here's the problem with that. Everyone in our division can play football, minus the Green Bay Packers, and they beat us in week 1. Since week 1, they've looked like shit. They only looked good against us. So that holds well for us. Now, yesterday, what happened? Toward the end of the game, we had 1 minute 48 seconds left. We should have been able to win. We drove all the way down the field. We drove 73 yards down the field just to throw an interception and lose at the end. That being said, Justin Fields only played half the game. Tyson Bagent had to come in during the third quarter, finish the third quarter, and play all the fourth quarter. That being said, Tyson Bagent looked great. So for all you haters out there say, "Oh, you guys wanted Bagent," well, here's something to consider. He had a quarter and a half and almost won that game. So yeah, Tyson Bagent may be our answer. Not that I'm against Justin Fields. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, never in my life, I'm 35. I've been a Bears fan. I was born a Bears fan. So all my life, I've been a Bears fan. But I've never seen us have two quarterbacks more than capable of leading our offense down the field and winning a game. Now, we did have a long time ago, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2006 might have been Jay Cutler's year. But before Jay Cutler era, we had Kyle Orton, who was phenomenal. I thought he was great. I hate that we ever lost a guy like Kyle Orton, who won pretty much all our games and led us into the playoffs. And then, Rex Grossman took over and killed us in the Super Bowl. So at one point in time, we had two talented quarterbacks, and that's what we have now. But I will say this, Rex Grossman did kill us, and he was overrated, and he should have never got Orton's job. We never know what would have been if Orton would have stayed in and played the playoffs and played the Super Bowl. We never will know because we gave the job to Rex Grossman, and that was disgusting. And that's what led to Jay Cutler. How you doing? So in case you guys didn't know that, if you guys ever wanted to know how did we end up with Jay Cutler to begin with, we ended up with Jay Cutler because we had a pretty good guy named Kyle Orton, and we had a lot of draft picks that we did not need because we had Matt Forte, because we had the greatest defense in the world, and because we had wide receivers that could just do nothing but flat out catch the ball. I'm talking about Devin Hester. I'm talking about Earl Bennett. I'm talking about Marty Booker. We had the success, so we didn't need the draft picks. That's how we ended up with Jay Cutler, and then the rest was history. Jay did his thing and became, statistically the greatest Chicago Bears quarterback of all time. So I'm not upset about what happened as far as landing Jay Cutler. That was the greatest thing in my lifetime as a Bears fan. The greatest thing that ever happened to me was getting Jay Cutler. That being said, losing a guy like Kyle Orton, it kind of bothered me. Back to the story. We have two capable quarterbacks. Tyson Bagent is legit. Justin Fields is legit. The offensive line has caused us to lose pretty much all year. If you just watch a fucking football game, just watch the Bears. See how many times Cody Whitehairs throw the ball way over Justin Fields' head, and Justin has to jump up like he wants to slam dunk, like he's playing the NBA just to catch the snap. He has to literally leave his feet to get the ball. Okay, and then reverse that with Tyson Bagent. Tyson Bagent come in, and then Whitehairs throwing it at his feet. Tyson Bagent has literally bending down, touching his toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. That must be Cody Whitehairs' favorite fucking song because that's the only place he puts the damn ball. When he snaps the ball in shotgun formation, it's either going to your head, your shoulders, your knees, or your toes. It's never going right in the pocket where the quarterback deserves it and where the quarterback needs it to be successful. So we've been getting our asses kicked and everyone's been getting the blame except for the true person who deserves the blame, and who really deserves the blame is Cody Whitehair. Now, like I said, we are in a rebuild, and we just lost our fifth game. We're 1-5, so this is looking really bad. With the exception of this, if you guys have been listening to me all year long, I said that we could be 12-5. So here's the real question, not to myself and to all the other Chicago Bears fans out there. Do I see us being a team that can turn it around and win out? Because from right here to win our division and make the playoffs, we are almost in a win-out situation. And the answer is, well, absolutely. If you look on the schedule, there's no one else that can just outright dominate us, right? So we don't have to play the Chiefs. Thank God for that. We don't have to play the Eagles. Thank God for that. We don't have to play anybody who's playing dominant football. Thank God for that. The next strongest team we play is going to be I want to call them the San Diego Chargers, but it's the Los Angeles Chargers. That's the next strongest team we play. And they're not perfect. They're 3-2. I mean, they play tonight, against the Cowboys. So we'll get a really good analyst over how they truly look on prime time, and how legit that defense really is. Because they talk about Joey Bosa and they talk about Khalil Mack. Well, let me tell you something. We used to have Mack, so we kind of already know how to handle that to begin with. In case you didn't know, we have insight on how to stop that guy. How you doing? We also, again, our defense is completely healthy. So I don't care what quarterback comes into the league. I've said this once and I'll say this 8,000 times. If you want to judge my team, just judge my secondary. I say all quarterbacks are welcome to come on down. They can give you what they got. We've been losing for all the wrong reasons. Now, it's up to Matt Eberflus to correct these problems, right? So if I'm just a basic average fan who loves his team and can see why we're losing, you damn well better believe the coach of the fucking team can see the same things that I'm seeing. You better believe that the defense is going to be sharp for here on out. No more excuses. It's lights out football. If we lose one more game, that might be the only thing we could do. We might could give up one more game, and it better not be against anybody in the division. And if we drop a game, it needs to be an ugly, lucky game against an AFC team, and then we still win out 11-6. Oh, so we still have this. Let me show you guys. We have this much room for error. This much room for error. We can lose one more game. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. If we do lose another game, you might as well hang the hat. We won't be a playoff team. But does that mean the season's over as far as being viewed as a successful team? No. This is what we got to do. We got to start coming out on all these closer games. Like, first of all, we've only been really beat down once. So that's a good thing, right? So that's already an improvement from last year. So that's a good thing. But if we win 8 games, from considering we won 3 games last year, 8 games is winning more than twice the amount we did last year. That's success. That keeps Matt Eberflus around. That keeps Ryan Poles around. Again, we have a new owner. It happened this year. This is the first year he's ever owned anybody, and he owns the Chicago Bears. So not only is the team rebuilding, the organization is rebuilding. And here's a little insight for all the people who are Chicago Bears fans that do not live in Chicago. And again, I do not live in Chicago, but I worship the team to a high standard. Every time there's a press conference, I'm on it. Every time there's anything publicized against my team, I'm on it. So, the organization is changing. We've got a brand new head coach, got a brand new owner, got a brand new fucking general manager. Excuse my language. I'm starting to get hot. I'm starting to really bowl onto what's going on with my team. But here's what people are not being talked about. This is not even being advertised. So I hope I'm teaching you guys something. We are moving into Arlington. We have a brand new stadium. We're waiting to play in this brand new stadium. So, even if we go out in flames this year, this is looking to be the last year in Chicago. We will be moving to Arlington. Now, are we still going to be the Chicago Bears? Everything that I've read, everything that I've seen, they're not going to change the name of the team. They're only going to change the location and the venue for the team. So therefore, the team can make more money. The city can become more successful. And that's when I truly believe we're going to start winning a lot more games. Here's a little bit of history for you guys, all you NFL guys, all you football fans out there. I don't know how much football fans you guys really are out there. Here's something everyone should need to know. Okay, Soldier Field, where my beloved Chicago Bears play, is the oldest stadium in the NFL. And it's the smallest venue in the NFL. This is why not only are we losing games, I can almost make the argument and I can almost build you a replica that we're losing on purpose. We are purposely trying to get out of Soldier Field. All right. If you just watch some press conferences like from Brian Urlacher, from Devin Hester, from Robbie Gold, they all say the same thing. They played in a toilet bowl. Everyone hated playing in Chicago. Even when we were successful, even with Brian and with Lance and with Julius Peppers, even when we were great, we did great on the road. We would win. We would dominate every time we would leave Chicago. We'd whip everybody's ass, and then we'd have to dogfight the wins in our own house. So they're kind of fed up with it. That's why there's a new venue. That's why there's a new stadium. That's why I could make the argument and make you believe that we are not winning games on purpose. They want to be out of Soldier Field. It's a sad, sad thing, but it's nothing but the truth. Now, that being said, I've already discussed the rebuild of the Blackhawks. I just got done discussing the rebuild of the Chicago Bears. Who's not rebuilding is the Chicago Bulls, who is looking really good, really tight, really competitive, is the Chicago Bulls. I've already told you guys I expect us to be within the top 3 teams of the East this year. That's not an exaggeration. That is a legitimate place for the Chicago Bulls this year, and it has been literally since the rebuild. So already the Bulls have already gone through their rebuild. All right, so we brought in DeMar DeRozan, we brought in Lonzo Ball, we brought in Nikola Vucevic, and then we re-signed all our worthy draft picks. And you talk about, what do you mean worthy? Well, I'm talking about Kobe White. I've already given you guys all his stats. I'm talking about Ayo Dosunmu, and I've already given you all his stats. I'm talking about Patrick Williams, who will be re-signed after this year. He's not going nowhere for a long time. He's going to be our cornerstone power forward. I'm talking about the young Bucks, the young Bulls. That's what they're called, the young Bulls. Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams. These guys will not leave town. You better believe that they're going to be in the United Center for a very long time. And as a matter of fact, we're already working on that. Kobe just signed a 4-year deal. Ayo just signed a 3-year deal. Patrick is expected to sign a 4-year extension. DeMar DeRozan is expected to sign a 2-year extension at the end of this year. Alex Caruso has already been promised. He's already been promised a 3-year extension. Who we are right now is exactly who we want to be. Everybody on this team, minus the 2 new guys, Javon Carter and Torrey Craig, who just signed new deals this last offseason, are already being promised big money. Only person not being promised big money is the most important guy who deserves big money, and that's Andre Drummond. So Andre Drummond got a prove-it deal this last offseason. We told him you're gonna get the guaranteed center spot on the bench. Prove to us what you got, and you will, my friend, get a 4-year extension. So who we are is who we want to be, and that's a good thing. It's already NBA preseason. We've already been knocking on the doors of really high contenders. Now people say, oh, it's just preseason. Oh, you're getting too excited. Well, I'm getting too excited for no reason at all other than I understand that what we're doing and what is exactly what we've been doing. All right, we've been trying to compete for a title. Now, with the newcomers, Javon Carter, who's been looking fabulous in the preseason, knocking down the 3-ball. He's the most accurate 3-point shooter on the team thus far. In our 4 preseason games, no one has shot better than Javon Carter, who is from Chicago, who's always wanted to be a Chicago Bull. Now he is a Chicago Bull, and he's proven it. He's playing like, hey, this is what I've wanted all my fucking life. All I've ever wanted to do was play for the Bulls, be part of the United Center. I love this team. He's proven it with his efforts. You know who else has proven it with his efforts? Torrey Craig, newcomer. He looks great. He's sharp. He's smart. He's fast. He looks fantastic. Again, shooting the ball very accurately. And I said this already previously in another episode. As soon as when I was catching up during the offseason, so I'm gonna say episode 45, 46. When I was playing catch up in the offseason of the NBA, I told you that Torrey Craig was exactly like DeMar DeRozan in every instance, shape, and form. And I did not exaggerate. He can shoot the ball. He can dunk the ball. He can play great defense. He can rebound the fucking ball. The Bulls look fantastic. I'm talking about amazing. Now let's talk about the only player we drafted in the NBA draft. Let's talk about Julian Phillips, 19 years old. He's not even 20 years old yet. The kid's only 19. This is what I've seen him do in preseason so far. All 4 games I've watched. I'm challenging myself, and I said this months and months ago. I'm talking about like episode 20. Months ago, I told you guys I was going to challenge myself to watch all 82 games. I'm already going to surpass that because now I'm challenging myself to watch every preseason game and every season game. So I'm already challenging myself to watch around 100 games by the time it's all said and done. And then by the time we get into the playoffs, I'm probably looking at watching 115 Chicago Bulls games this year, and I'll be nothing but proud to do it. This is what I've seen him do. Dunk all over Milwaukee. I'm talking about posterized, nasty preseason opener. They're minute 14 seconds left. We're down by two, and this guy comes in, ties the game, and looks like Michael Jordan just slamming it with all he's got. All right, then the defending champs, Denver Nuggets. I seen him posterize Michael Porter Jr., who probably shouldn't even been there to begin with. I don't even know why he was playing because he's a starter for that team, but he was playing late in that game, and Julian Phillips said, "Oh, Michael Porter Jr., I think I remember you. Watch this." Dunk. And then again, he did it again to Aaron Gordon. "Oh, Aaron Gordon, hey, I remember you." Dunk. So this is what I'm trying to tell you about Julian Phillips. Julian Phillips is already 3 times better than Dallin Terry. So if the Bulls do want to ship around, if we want to wonder if we're a piece down, what can we do to get that extra piece? This is what I would do. Since we're already promising players that they're coming back, that means we're not promising anybody that we're going to draft them. I take Dallin Terry. I take future draft picks. I take Carlink Jones, and I ship them off to the highest bidder and look for a hybrid player. Now, when I say a hybrid player, I'm talking about somebody that's 6'9", somebody that's maybe 230 pounds, someone that can run up and down the court in an instant of a flash. I'm talking about a Aaron Gordon type. I'm talking about another maybe Jared Vanderbilt type. We need someone that can play power forward and play small forward at the same time. That's what we need. We got the guards. All right. We got Kobe. We got Ayo. We got Alex. We got Javon. So and we got Zach. So that's 5 guys. We got the guards. We don't need the guards. We could possibly need a center because we're looking at having Vooch. We're looking at having Drummond. So maybe we could possibly need a center. But here's the thing about having a center. Unless we can find a 7-foot guy and that can run up and down the court, shoot the 3-ball, and dunk and rebound, unless we can find a Lauri Markkanen, we're wasting our time. Why'd you say Lauri Markkanen? Because we should have never let him go. That's why I said Lauri Markkanen. I don't want a Bobby Portis. He's too big. He moves too slow. I don't want a Brook Lopez. He's too big. He's too slow. I would like a Sabonis type player. Or, that would be ideal, but that would never happen. A Miles Turner type player, again, 6'9", 6'10", can run up and down the court. Actually, there's probably no better fit for the Chicago Bulls than Miles Turner, but he's an Indiana Pacer, and he's also the forefront of Indiana's post game, so Indiana's probably not going to ship him out maybe ever, so he's completely off the board, but that's what we need. We need a Miles Turner or a Sabonis or a Lauri Markkanen type player. We need a stretch 4, a predominant 5 type player. So are there many of them out there in the NBA? Yeah, there's a handful of them. The problem is they're all tied up into contracts. So we're going to have to draft a player like that. And I just told you, because we're already promising everybody all this money, drafting one doesn't mean much because not every rookie is going to come in and wow you like a Derrick Rose or like, a Russell Westbrook or, somebody like the Joker, who I don't want. I think he's too big. I think he's too sloppy. Is he dominant? Yes. Is he a reigning MVP? Yes. Is he a reigning champion? Yes. Do I want a figure type like him? Absolutely not. He's not my style of guy. He's not what I want. What I want is a Lauri Markkanen. Oh, didn't we have one besides Lauri Markkanen who we let go for stupid reasons and now plays European ball, who happened to win the MVP of Europe? Yes, Nikola Mirotic. So if I were the Bulls, I'd be getting on the phone with Europe and I'd be like, what is it going to take to have Mirotic come back and play for me? And whatever they ask, I'd probably get the job done and I'd bring his ass back. Now, why does it have to be Mirotic? Because he's everything that we need. He's everything that I want. Plus, Mirotic is only 30 years old. What? He's only 30 years old. That means he can play another 5 or 6 years, which is actually max contract. Max contract is 5 years. So you mean to tell me that we let a guy walk, and this was years ago. We let him walk 3 years ago. This was fucking retarded. I don't understand why we did it then, and I don't understand why we haven't corrected it now. for $30 million. So that's $6 million a year. We let a dominant player go who ended up being an MVP somewhere else over $6 million a year. Ridiculous. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the show, if you like what you heard, you enjoyed what you see, always feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're feeling generous, always feel free to cash at me, Erick Coughlin, #Coughlin Pride. Have a good day.